Welcome again to another unboxing. So this time it's going to be a little bit different because I won't be mentioning the place I got this from because it is in a private group. But yeah, also will be showing something else as well. So I went to a gem and mineral show in my town, and I have a few things I want to show you from that. But first, let's get to the first item I unboxed, which is this iridescent lavender cubic fluorite specimen. This specimen comes from a new pocket that was discovered in Pakistan. I have a more detailed place. I just can't pronounce it, so I'll just put it on screen. So that's where this is from. Yeah, so I didn't want to butcher the name. So what does iridescent mean? Well, iridescent is this sort of rainbowing effect, obviously, hence the name. This is caused by the iron-rich minerals in the pocket that had leached and stained the crystal, or in this case, the fluorite. So when you hear, let's say, aura-coated, well, what aura-coated is man-made way of trying to replicate iridescence, the natural iridescence that can occur, which is a much more rare occurrence. And it's quite obvious when it's aura coated because it's just too, I don't want to say perfect, but just evenly dispersed. Whereas iridescence, when it occurs naturally, isn't like that. It, is in some pieces, and some other pieces it's been left clear, and you have to sort of get it in the right light. And it could be thick, it could be thin, and it's just not evenly dispersed as the man-made variety of aura. So as you could probably tell, I'm not the hugest fan of aura. You can definitely tell the difference between the two, the iridescence and aura, when you see both. and have experienced both. Yeah. And I just think that the fact that it came out of the earth like that is just neat when it comes to iridescence. But anyways, now let's talk about the shape, because the cubic shaped fluorite here, because of the etching, when you hit the light just right, the etching sort of has this, the iridescence on it, so it really just sparkles when it hits that light. It's just really pretty, and I'm super excited that I got this piece. All right, so like I mentioned previously, I recently went to my gem and mineral show in my local one in town for a few reasons. One, obviously to look at all the cool crystals and minerals. Two, is I actually wanted to have something identified that I was having trouble identifying myself. This piece is something that was found by my son, who found it when we were out camping. We do a lot of camping out in the middle of nowhere. So I can't remember exactly where we found it because we go so many places, but I know it's in sort of close proximity to where I am. Anyway, so I took the piece over to get it hopefully identified by some of the people there, and this is the piece here. And at first I thought maybe it was blue calcite because of this sort of waxy texture to it. However, I've never heard of blue calcite being here in my area before previously, so I wasn't too sure. And turns out what this is actually serpentine. Now, I never knew serpentine could be blue, but apparently blue serpentine exists, and I know that there is a lot of serpentine in and around my area, so that makes sense. The only downside is that serpentine has a lot of subgroups, and I'm not too sure what subgroup this blue serpentine would fall under. So I have taken photos of it and have posted it up on Mindat or Mindat.org. I don't know how it's pronounced. It's one of those two. And I've mentioned them previously before. It's just an organization that helps with, identifying rocks and talking about rocks. And, it's run by an institute of mineralogists. Anyway, so I did post photos and ask them what subgroup, and I have yet to receive a message back. But that's probably due to the fact that I forgot to message them until last night, so I just posted it. So, yeah. Maybe even if I get a message from them, they might not be able to tell just by the photos. I don't know. But for now, at least I know it is some form of serpentine that's blue. And yeah, I just wanted to share all that with everyone who's watching. I didn't include this piece in my collection video because I had it sort of just hidden away and, lying in wait until I was able to find someone to help me identify it. And I forgot about it, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, so I decided just to show it you here. And it's a perfect segue into the next thing I want to show you. So as I mentioned previously, I took my specimen to the Mineral Gem Show in my local vicinity, and because I was there, obviously I'm going to look around. It's very small. I don't live in a huge area, and this show only happens once a year, and about half, maybe even more than half, shady business practices, because again, there's no oversight with this industry at all. So yeah, but there are a few good apples mixed in with a bunch of bad. And yeah, I did look around. I mean, I'm knowledgeable enough to at least not really get ripped off, so I'm okay. And I actually ended up picking up something from the same vendor who was able to identify my specimen, actually. And that is this chalcopyrite with sphalerite growth specimen. So, chalcopyrite is a copper ore and is very similar to pyrite. in many ways. However, chalcopyrite is softer on the Mohs scale hardness. Usually it grows alongside galena and sphalerite. Obviously, this one here has sphalerite. And yeah, chalcopyrite very easily oxidizes and in fact creates this very iridescent like that you see here, because it's due to surrounding minerals and their chemical composition, which alterizes the chemicals that make up chalcopyrite. So yeah, it can easily tarnish, or in relation to other minerals create different iridescent effects. So it's very, very, very pretty. And that about covers it today. I wasn't planning on doing any other unboxings anytime soon, except, of course, there happened to be some sales that came up from two separate stores, consignment sales. What that means is that people have donated their crystals that they don't, vibe with, I guess, anymore, and, sell them at discount, at cheap to, a shop, and they will do a live sale sort of event where they sell them for cheap. And I just couldn't help myself. And it was two different stores that did this to me right at the same time, of course. So even though a few things are new, a lot of them are cheap consignment crystals, which is awesome, depending on how you look at it, I guess. And there's a few others. Another shop just had a regular summer sale, and so I got just a few things. But then after that, I'll probably have a cooling off time of unboxing, because I can't just spend all my money on crystals. So yeah, be on the lookout for that anyways, and I will see you then. Bye.